Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I hope you will be fine. Last time we discussed credit letter. Credit letter when companies seek a line of credit and when other companies grant a line of credit. So, as I told you last time that a lot of amount of business is carried down on credit. But sometimes it happens that an account, a credit account, a charge account is not cleared. Though as we discussed that normally before granting credit, companies evaluate each and everything. So they are very careful in granting credit. But even then sometimes it happens that an account, a credit account is not cleared. So when the situation comes, a collection letter has to be written. Sometimes a simple letter, a statement, a reminder can serve the purpose, can bring the money back to the organization. But sometimes it happens that the account is not cleared despite the statement, despite the reminders of the creditors. This is a situation which needs a lot of care. Before analyzing what to do, before writing what to do, the person writing such letter needs to have the psychology of the debtor. He should have an understanding of the debtor. He should know rules and laws and policies of his company as well as of the law of the country. He, at the first place, must have this very fact in his mind that he has not called in question the integrity, the honesty of the debtor. Because such situations does occur in a business. Maybe an account is not being cleared for some certain reason. Maybe it's an oversight in the beginning. This should be the thinking of the creditors, that it might be some oversight on the part of the debtor. Similarly, there may be some problem. The people or the person who needs to pay the amount may be busy with some campaign they are launching. Maybe they have some other problem. So before thinking for the last resort, it is very important that the people who are responsible for collecting overdue accounts take stock of the whole situation. First of all, and which is most important, is that they must know and they must take care of the credit habits of their debtors. Normally it happens that there are certain organizations which just take 2-3 statement or a reminder before they clear their accounts. So it is very important that each individual and each organization must be analyzed and must be studied carefully and individually. We cannot group all people who have not cleared their accounts into one category. Each organization, each individual needs to be given a separate ranking. So the most important thing is that whenever we are encountered with such a problem, we have to think in mind that how is the problem to be solved. We have to collect the overdue account. So we have to collect money. So this is the first thing, we have to collect money. Number 2, we have to keep the customer. We don't want to lose it. And number 3, we have to build the goodwill. So these are the basic threefold purposes of a collection letter. And the collection letter writer must consider these 3 things, that he and organization has to take the money, but in what way? Do they have to threaten? Do they have to resort to some unpleasant means? Or they have to keep their focus on getting the amount? I'm sure that you will agree that it is to get the money. So the first and foremost thing is that the collection letter writer should keep it in his mind that he has to collect the money. Number 2, to keep the customer. Keeping the customer is very important, as we discussed in the last letter, and we've been discussing in previous subjects too, that keeping the customer is very important. That's why we give so much care to writing letter which have some no to our customers. You must be now well aware with this phenomenon that whenever we have to say no to our customer, we give extra care to such letters. So keep the customer is the second important thing that we have to consider. We don't want to lose customer. As I just said, that if we lose one, we'll have to look for another. So what's the use of losing one and looking for another? I mean, we have to get our money back and have the customer intact without losing him. So this is the second thing. The third thing is that we have to build goodwill. Our goodwill is very important because it is the goodwill of our organization that keeps us in the market in a certain financial field. So it is very important that the language we use in our letter should keep this fact that we built our goodwill. We don't have to use abusive language, as we'll see that there are certain do's and don'ts. We'll go through these, that we have to use very pleasant, courteous tone in our letter. We have to avoid negative tones in our letter. We have to avoid accusation. We have to avoid even harassing our customer. So the collection letter is a very serious matter, and this matter should be given extra care. Normally, as I just said, that we send statements, we send reminders, but if they fail to achieve our purpose, we use certain other letters that are sort of inquiry, asking them to give us the reason for not paying. If these letters fail, again we write them letters, and these letters have certain appeals in them, appeals to their pride, appeal to their sense of sympathy, appeal to their sense of fair play and justice. These are normally persuasive and positive appeals that we use. And even if these appeals do not bring fruit, do not bring the money back to us, then we come to the last stage, and that is the stage A, which is sort of an ultimatum in which we threaten the customer of some legal action. But the manager, collection manager, must be very careful in writing letters at each stage. So stage or series, they are almost the same. We use these words for different types of letter when we are writing collection letters. There can be 3 stages or 3 series of collection letter. There can be 4, and some of the researcher and writer of the books of communication and practitioners suggest that they can go up to 6 and 8. It depends on the person writing such letters, that how he has to deal with this situation, and obviously the customer with whom you are interacting through writing. This is very important. So collection letter is a very sensitive issue, and since it's a very sensitive issue, it calls for extra care. And first of all, you must know that what you should say and what you shouldn't say. As I said, that this is just because of the policies of an organization as well as the law of a country. So when you are collecting overdue accounts in other countries, you must make yourself well versed and well aware with the law of that country, or it's better that you contact some collection agencies. There are always in different in countries which help you getting your overdue account. So as I just said, collection is a sensitive issue, so certain practices must be avoided. So number 1, falsely implying that a lawsuit has been filed. I mean, right in the start, you give the impression to your customer that you have filed a lawsuit against that organization or that individual. This thing must be avoided. You must not write your message in such a way in which you are threatening your customer, your reader of lawsuits, because this practice is prohibited. This practice is prohibited in many countries like America and many other countries. So must not employ lawsuit whenever you are writing, especially in the beginning. Then you don't have to contact the debtor's employer or to relatives about the debt. This is a very unjust thing, that you contact the relative or the employer of the debtor about the overdue account. So you have to contact him or the organization for this purpose. You don't have to make him insulted in this way. So avoid this practice too. Then communication to other person than the person in debt. I mean, any other person, any friend or any other person for seeking debt is also, which must be avoided. Harassing the debtor. This is another issue. Though the definition of harassment is different in different countries, but I mean, it's very clear when somebody feels harassed, is known to everyone or known to all of us, so it must be avoided. You don't have to take your debtor into a situation in which he feels harassed. So avoid any type of harassment. It may be obviously the previous point that we have discussed. You are contacting the debtor's employer or his relative or any other person, then the debtor is also a sort of harassment. It is to take him to a corner. So be very careful not doing this. Then using abusive or coercive language. You must use courtesy. You must use a pleasant tone whenever you are writing collection messages. Your language must be given a special care. You have to include courtesy into your message. You have to include you attitude into your message. You have to feel the situation to be in the place of your debtor. As I said, that it may be some genuine reason. The person is not intentionally giving you this tough situation. He wants to pay you, but there is some genuine reason for it. So be careful in this regard too. Then don't intentionally cause mental stress. I mean, don't resort to some means which gives stress to the debtor. And all these things that we've been studying can give stress to the debtor. So you have to bring back your money. That is it. But you have to seek it through some certain moral as well as some pleasant means that they don't put stress on the debtor. Then threatening violence, this is the least of all. When you threaten a person of violence for not paying you your credit, so you have to avoid all these things. Beside this, you don't have to communicate by postcard. I mean, when you communicate by any postcard, the whole message is written on it and the matter can be made known to any third person. And we've just said that you have to avoid this. Then you have to avoid misrepresenting the legal status of the debtor. I mean, you threaten him by misrepresenting his legal status, that the debtor has become this, or he is liable to this punishment or this crime, etc. Then you have to avoid communicating in such a way as to make the receiver physically ill. If you give too much stress to your debtor, obviously what is going to happen? He is going to become ill. So avoid this, because if you avoid all these things, you not only become pleasant for others, you also save your own skin, because as I said that all these things are against the law, and if you go against the law, what you do is you put yourself into problem. And moreover, you not only put yourself into problem getting involved into any legal problems, you also lose your customer and your money as well. So, and you have to spend expenses on lawsuits also. So try avoiding all these things. And as a last thing, don't misrepresent the message as a government or court document. Write messages to your debtors, but don't misrepresent them as if they were some document from the court. So as collection manager, as collection letter writer, the very first thing to understand is that collection is a very serious matter, and you have to be extra careful. You have to avoid doing all these practices. You don't have to misrepresent any fact. You don't have to threaten the debtor of any lawsuit unless the situation is really come, in which you threaten him of some legal actions. So after doing all this, what you need to develop in you is the right attitude. What is right attitude? Right attitude is certainly a state of mind, a pleasant state of mind. So any emotional reaction on the part of the debtor may reduce the chances of recovery. Very important thing, if you take any step that was just discussed that need to be avoided, what happened as a result if you take that step is that you reduce the chances of getting your money back. So it is important that you do not take these steps. Successful collection depends on following factor: understanding of human nature, knowledge of collection policies and law, using persuasive positive appeals effectively. So understanding of human nature, we've been discussing this, that the collection letter writer is like a psychologist. And you must remember, in the first lecture I told you that the good communicator draws on many other disciplines, including semantic, including syntax, including psychology, sociology. So you see that what does a collection letter writer need. He needs to be a psychologist. Unless he has the understanding of the human nature, he should know that how people react in different situations. So knowing people reacting in different situations is understanding of human nature and understanding of the psychology of the people. So it's important that you must have this understanding. Then knowledge of collection policies and laws. As we just said, that he must know. We've been discussing what a collection letter writer needs to avoid. You must know the policies of your own company, how it reacts in case of a delinquent customer, and also the law of your own country, that what you are permissible and what you are prohibited, and where are your limits. So knowing law basically give you your limit, that to which extent you can write your messages using certain appeal, even the last ultimatum, but you don't have to resort to any activities that can stress the customer or that can make the customer physically ill. So you have to avoid certain things by knowing the law of your company, the policies of your company, your organization, and the law of your country. Then using persuasive positive appeal effectively. As I said that at a certain stage, before the final stage, we write letter in which we use certain appeals. These are psychological appeal. Basically, these are persuasive messages in which we use different appeal to one's sense of pride, appeals to one's sense of fair play and justice, appeal to one's sympathy. So the collection letter writer should know that which appeal he needs to use, because he knows the human nature. As I just said, that it's very important for him to know the human nature. He knows the psychology. So when he knows all this, he will be picking up the appeal which is relevant to the situation and to the person, which can be helpful in getting his message across to the debtor. So your knowledge of the appeal is also very important. Then we come to the stage when we are ready to write collection letters. So whenever you have to begin your collection letter, begin with the assumption that most people will pay. This is the first rule of a collection letter writing. You must not call in question the integrity of your customer. You must have this belief that people are ready to pay. And what if they are not paying? It means that they are having some problems. So they are having some problems should be your first assumption. This problem can be a simple oversight. This problem can be they are busy with their other projects. This simple belief is that they have some problem, some real problem, some genuine problem. Maybe the person has fallen ill. Maybe that organization is situated in such an area which has received some natural calamity. So there can be any problem. So the very first thing is that you must begin your letter with the assumption that the customer is ready to pay. If you start your messages with this assumption, it means that you are in a positive frame of mind, and what you are going to write will also be pleasant for others. Unless you have reached the last stage, and you do not reach the last stage in a day, in a week, in a 2 week, in a month. It takes time. You give time to your debtor. Maybe it goes 2-3 months, but sometime in some situation it can be less than or it can be over. It depends on your understanding of your customer. So you begin your letter with this. Then give no impression that you doubt the honesty of the debtor. This is quite clear. Use a courteous, reasonable tone, but become firmer. Obviously, when you start your collection series, what happened is that you start from the messages which are very courteous. The tone is very pleasant, but gradually you need to be firmer. I mean, you need to you need to convey your reader that you are serious, and this is a very serious matter. But to be firmer doesn't mean that you are using some abusive language or you are threatening the customer. This must not be equated with that. Be firmer mean that you are telling the customer, you are showing the customer through the language used, the way you are phrasing your structure of the sentence, that it's a very serious matter, and the customer should also take it very seriously. It's a money matter. So, more demanding during the later stage of the series. You can be more demanding, from firmer to demanding, like in the last stage. Remain with law, do not harass. This is very important. You have to be with the law all the time. Whatever stage you are in, you do not have to go beyond the law. You have to be with the law. You don't have to harass. And as we discussed, there are certain types of harassment. There can be some use of some abusive language, some threatenings, contacting the relative of the debtor or the employer of the debtor or any other friend or any other person, or the certain other things. So, remain with the law, don't harass. Then show understanding and flexibility while writing delinquent accounts. Showing understanding is very important. Your reader should know that you are very understanding. Sometimes it happens that if you adopt some firm language or strict language, or you threaten of strict measures, what happens as a result is that the person gets frightened or gets defensive, and as a result he does not speak up. So be very careful. You have to make him talk. You have to make him talk to you that what is the matter, why he is not paying to you. So to achieve this purpose, you have to be very fair. You don't have to use any language, bad language. You have to show flexibility so that he should come to you and tell his problem, or write to you telling his problem. Send collection notices quickly and regularly. This is very important. Normally what happened is that a statement is sent after a week. First statement is sent after a week and or 10 days. Then another statement is sent, or a reminder is sent after a week or 10 days. And then the subsequent statement or the letter are sent with the same duration. Maybe this duration is different with some writer, because they understand their customer. Instead of writing every 8th or 10th day, they may like to write every 15 days. And this depends on your understanding of your customer. But whatever the duration of the statement, reminder, and the letters in different stages is, they should be regular. Just suppose that you write one letter today and then you write the other letter after a month, and in that letter you have adopted some firmer tone, so it isn't suitable. You must take this situation or state gradually. So be very careful. Never employ in your messages that payment can be avoided or postponed. I mean, you have to maintain this thing, that payment or your overdue account is very important for you. I mean, whatever the situation is, you can give time, but ultimately the debtor has to pay the amount. Retain goodwill throughout the series. If you do not retain goodwill, in fact, you lose your own self-respect. So maintaining goodwill is very important. And how do you maintain goodwill? You maintain goodwill by taking care of all don'ts. I mean, you avoiding all the things that we've discussed and adopting all the things that we have discussed. So by doing these two things, you will maintain your goodwill. Never using abusive language. Always using a courteous tone, but courtesy at the later stage with some firmness. So present your evidence and stick to the fact. Say your evidence that you have. For example, tell the customer when you send the goods, include the date, include any receipt or invoice number. Persuade the debtors of the benefit he will receive by paying. So again, don't say that if the customer gives the money back, he is not going to avail this facility of credit anymore. Don't give this impression. Rather, you should keep giving this impression that after the customer has cleared the overdue account, he will still be availing the facility of credit. This is important. State clearly the specific action the debtor must take. Obviously, specific action in this case is sending you money. At the statement stage, you simply ask to send them the check. And then later stage, for example, at appeal stage, you not only ask the customer to send you the money, but also you say that if there is some reason for not paying, the customer must convey that reason to you. So in some cases, this may be the action you ask the customer to take. You ask the customer to tell you the situation, that why he or they are unable to pay the overdue account. So this is the collection series. As I just told you, it can be 4 steps, 4 series, or it can be 5, 6, 7 up to 8. It depends on. But in the beginning, what you do is that you send the statement, and sometime with the statement you write something at the bottom of the statement. You use some rubber stamp that has past overdue, or some sticker that has some past overdue written on them. So this can be in the beginning. But here you are using the language which is very courteous, and the message are very simple. You are not showing any sign that you are doubtful about the integrity of your customer. So at this stage, you will be writing statement, or you will be writing letters like this. Our records indicate that the balance of Rs 4,000 on your account is now past due. Payment is requested. So this is the reminder or the statement stage. And at this stage, you simply tell the customer that his account is overdue. You do not write anything else. You use a very neutral language, and the tone is also very neutral. Simply, you are reminding a person that he has forgotten to send you a check or send you the money. Or it can be a little more. Our record shows that your September payment is more than a week overdue. If you have recently mailed your check for rupees so and so, we thank you. If not, please send it in quickly. So this letter again telling very specifically what is the payment and how long it is overdue, but giving no sign to show the customer that his integrity, honesty is in question. If your objective statement and reminder fail to achieve the purpose, then collection process must gradually become more emotional and personal. So at the second stage, the tone is still very friendly. The messages written are written in a very friendly tone, and here the writer believes that the customer still intends to pay. So when with this bent of mind, with this mind, if a person writes a letter at this stage, the letter written is again very courteous and friendly. Let's look at a letter. Enclosed is a duplicate list of your credit charges from December, so any date. It is sent to you as a friendly reminder that the balance on your account with us is past due. Please take a few minutes today to send us your check for rupees so and so. Use the postpaid addressed envelope provided for your use. So, when the customer does not respond to these personal reminders, and you can assume that something is preventing the customer from paying, it must be that the customer is unhappy with your purchased merchandise or is facing some financial difficulty. Whatever the reason, you want the customer to explain why the payment hasn't been made or settle the account. So here it's a sort of an inquiry letter. I mean, here you have come to this situation where you want some explanation from the customer. You want that the customer, either he should pay you the amount or should give you some explanation. So at this stage you write messages in which you request for explanation. Here the action requested is explanation. So let's look at a message. Dear Mr. Javed, we are concerned about your overdue account. Several reminder notices have been mailed to you and we expected to receive your rupees so and so check in the mail, but so far we haven't. There may be a circumstance beyond your control that prevents you from settling this account. If so, please write me about it. I'm certain we can work out a payment arrangement after we know what your situation is. Just think how good you will feel, Mr. Javed, when your account with us has been paid in full. Yours truly. So, you have seen this letter I've just read for you. So, at this stage, this was the last letter in the second stage, in which you have come to this conclusion that there is some problem with the debtor. Maybe he is in some problem, or he is disappointed about your services or about your merchandise. So here you think that you must seek some explanation from the debtor, and you just saw that how this letter can be written, in which we seek for an explanation. We ask the debtor to give us some reasonable explanation for his inability to pay the account, past due account. So you may write one letter or you may write two letters, depending on your understanding of your customer. But here you have come to this conclusion that it is time that you must use some appeal. That is, that you must go on to the next stage in which you write a very persuasive message. Before writing the last message, that is threatening legal action, you think that it is still time to give an opportunity to your reader to write, to give you amount. So you write messages with appeals. As I told you, here you can use appeal to pride. For example, what is an appeal to pride is that you write your message in such a way that you tell the customer that the customer has always been paying his account on time. So it can touch the sense of his pride, that the customer has always been very quick and prompt in paying the amount. So it can be appeal to fair play and justice. Fair play and justice mean that if as a seller or distributor we send the goods or we send the merchandise to the customer, so as customer he received, he enjoyed, and now it's his turn to pay back. So it's just to fair play, that we have been fair, so it is time for him to act the same. Sometimes we show some sympathy. We write in our messages in such a way in which we sympathize with the reader. We tell him that if there is any problem which has prevented him from paying, he must tell it to us. We will, as you just saw in the previous letter, in which the writer was asking for an explanation, but he was asking in such a sympathetic way that if a person who doesn't have any genuine problem will be ready to pay. So the letter has courtesy in it, but this letter should stress the customer's self-interest by pointing out the importance of prompt payment and the danger of losing credit standing. The letter should convey the urgency and seriousness of the situation. Dear Mr. Naim, your good credit reputation enabled you to purchase a rupees 15,000 suit from us 3 months ago. We were glad to place your name on our credit list at that time, and we made it clear that accounts are due on the 15th of the month following the purchase. When you bought the suit, you accepted the terms. Your credit reputation is a valuable asset. We want you to keep it that way because of the advantages it gives you. You have enjoyed a liberal extension of time, but to be fair to our other customers, you must pay the amount that is past due by March 2. Won't you please send us your check for the said amount today? Sincerely. So you have seen this letter. This letter is written in the third stage, in which we have employed an appeal into it. So this is an appeal to pride. We have started our letter by telling the customer that he should be proud of his reputation. So again you see that the language is firmer. We have conveyed the customer that we are very serious about the amount, and he should also be the same. He should take care not to take it non-seriously. So at this appeal we convey our customer that the matter is now very serious. Look at another letter. Dear Mr. Naim, we are truly at a loss. We cannot understand why you still have not cleared your balance of rupees 5,000, which is now 3 months overdue. Although you have been a reliable customer for 5 years, we are afraid you are placing your credit standing in jeopardy. Only you, by sending us a check today, can ensure your reputation and secure the continued convenience of buying on credit. We would not like to lose a valued friend, Mr. Naim. Please allow us to keep serving you. So you have seen that how do we write letters which have appeals at the third stage. This third stage comes when our statement stage did not bring any fruit, was not successful. The second stage in which we use some sort of explanation was not successful, so we resorted to this third stage. But sometimes it happens that even the third stage is also not helpful. It does not bring the money back to us. The customer does not respond to it. He does not make any contact to us telling us the reason for not paying. So when this situation comes, it is high time we took some serious step, and that step is the ultimatum step, or that step is the step threatening of legal action. At this stage we simply threaten the reader or the customer of legal action, and we tell him that he should be very careful. But even now we don't use bad language. We don't use any abusive language in our messages. But the tone of the letter is still not abusive. Many companies have different practice at this stage. For example, when such letters are written, normally these are written by some senior executive of the organization, or it is signed by some senior organization. So this signing of some senior official of the organization is also a cue for the reader that now the matter is really serious. Besides, here too we give a last chance to the customer before threatening him of some legal action or taking the matter to some collection agencies. We give the chance that if the money is sent to us by a certain date, if the account is cleared by a certain date, the reader or the customer still has the chance to be in the list, or we won't be taking any bad action against the customer. So let's look at this letter. Dear Mr. Naeem, our collection department has informed me of their intention to file suit as you have failed to answer any of our request for payment of rupees 5,000, which is now 4 months overdue. Before taking this action, however, I would like to make a personal appeal to your sound business judgment. I feel certain that if you telephone me, we can devise some means to settle this matter out of court. Therefore, I ask that you get in touch with me by 25th of the month so that I may avoid taking steps which neither of us would like. Yours truly. So, if you look at this letter, this is a final letter. This is, as it's very clear from the beginning of the letter, that this is the letter written by some senior executive of the organization. So from the start, the reader knows that now he is really in problem. But you have seen that in the last of the letter, last paragraph of the letter, the debtor has still been given one chance to give explanation, one chance to clear his overdue account. The writer of the letter has asked the debtor to come and discuss the matter. But if it is very clear that if there is no response from the reader, from the customer, then the matter is simply going to the court of law, going to any collection agency, etc. So these are 4 stages of collection letter. We have discussed today collection letter, and you have seen. Sometimes it happens that when we are at the 2nd stage or in the 3rd stage, we receive a message, we receive a letter from the customer with some partial payment. So if the partial payment is made, obviously if any partial payment has been made, it must be also having some explanation that the rest of the payment will be sent by a certain date. So if you receive a partial payment, you need to answer, and obviously in that answer you won't be threatening the customer of any legal action, but you will be stressing on the point that the payment must be made by the date the customer has given. So sometime after having written the appeal messages, we resort to some some oral communication instead of writing any letter threatening legal action. We simply call the customer and talk to him and ask him about that. So even then, if we do not have any response, then we may send a telegram showing the reader that the matter is going to be taken to the court of law if the payment is not received. Today we have discussed collection letter. Collection letter begins with the first understanding that the customer is going to pay, and we send him reminder, we send him statement. Then we come to the second stage, in which we write letters which seeks for some explanation. Then we come to the third stage, in which we write letter which have some appeals, and if they also fail, we switch on to the fourth stage. At this stage, we write letter threatening legal action, or they are sort of ultimatum telling the reader or the customer that now we must be given back our money. Collection letter is an important letter, very sensitive matter, must be handled very carefully. You must have understanding of human nature, you must be aware of the laws and the policies of your organization, and you must be well versed with the different appeals to write effective collection letters. So with this, our today's topic is over. In the next lecture, we will discuss the next topic. So for today, Khuda Hafiz.